Anyways, guys, I've been hearing a lot of things about like Notre Dame and bowls, and then freaking Philip. We'll wait about the Philip Rivers, but bowl games with Notre Dame. What the hell are they doing? I don't know, guys. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, that's supposed to be the new what are we gonna say? Rose Bowl? I don't know, guys. Bowl games haven't been good in a little bit, but again, you'll see at the end of this. The Rose Bowl had a really good one before they freaking playoff. What are we doing, guys? But anyway, I'll stop yapping. We got power rankings to get into. Playoff stretch. Obviously, things are getting really tight. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe. I hope you guys are ready for these power rankings because we will be changing some things up. Also, we will be discussing, again, the playoff picture and everything that goes along with it. Again, as we get closer to the playoffs, and obviously this is the best time of year for football and anything in general because obviously at the holidays. But more importantly, we'll have those wild scenarios where teams like the freaking, not Titans, that's not true. What's a good team? The Vikings could technically get in the playoffs. And that's not going to happen, but you never really know. Week 17, Week 18, those are the fun scenarios we're talking about there. But other than that, I'll explicitly explain those as we get closer to the playoffs. But we do have the first time this season we actually have a true scenario this week where teams can clinch playoff spots. We'll get into that pretty soon. But again, there's definitely some teams that can get eliminated at the same time. Also, just want to mention this for the Eagles. You are, again, for the Eagles, you are a Cowboys loss to the Vikings away from just needing to beat the Commanders to make the playoffs. Yeah, it's that simple. I mean, you guys are melting down. But why? I don't really know. Because just you win that, and you're not going to lose the Raiders this week. So, I mean, yeah, it's not again, Eagles fans, it's not that hard. You got this. But on track here with the worst team in football as we'll go 1 through 32-1. There we go. We'll go number 1 last. Worst team in football right now is the Raiders. They have not won in a long time. That was against the Titans. So, I mean, you could justify they're better than them. They're really not because they haven't really played good football in a while. They're going to probably be starting Kenny Pickett right against the rest of the season. They're just not very good at all. They did cover against the Broncos last week, despite their offense continuing to struggle mightily. Defensively, they're not the worst unit in the league, but they're definitely not, again, the most talented. We'll just put it like that. Second worst team in the league, I still have the Titans. Great win versus the Browns. You scored points. Tony Pollard had a legacy game, but, like, I don't know. You guys blew your chances at the number 1 pick for now. And Cam Ward still didn't look awesome, and your defense got torched. Like, yeah, they suck. But, I mean, hey, they won, so I'm not going to try to be too negative. Third to the Giants. I don't penalize teams on a bye. The Giants probably still lost their bye week, but they are definitely a little bit of a tough stretch here. They've lost 7 straight. They will be heading to they're hosting the Commanders next week to see if their fortunes change. Probably don't want to win, though. Raiders, I don't see them beating Philly, so I don't think the Giants are in great for that. Titans also, they're playing the who are the Titans playing this week? They're playing the Niners. That's great for them. So, yeah, the Giants don't want to think about winning or anything like that. 29, I have the Browns. Great win for you. No, they lost. What the heck am I talking about? Your defense is your worst game of your season, probably. I mean, you guys gave 200 rushing yards to the Titans offense. That is not good, so I'll say that. Shedeur looked good, though. They are officially eliminated from the playoffs now as well. Again, the Browns, obviously, the takeaways for them was that Shedeur played well and your defense didn't play well. I don't know. This week, well, hopefully they'll show up in Chicago, but I don't see that offense showing up. So we'll see about that for this Browns team. 28, I have the Jets. They did beat the Browns earlier in the season. That's kind of why they're above them. Again, we don't really know what's going on at quarterback for them right now. Definitely it's been a tumultuous season in that facet for them. Defensively, they're just devoid of talent outside of obviously their 2 edge rushers. But if you're a Jets fan, you got to be pretty satisfied with how you guys played, getting blown out by the Dolphins last week. This week, though, they will be hopefully playing better football against the Jaguars, a team that they could get shut out by. 27, I have the Cardinals. This Cardinals team looked like the most checked out of any NFL team this past week. Their defense got absolutely destroyed by the Rams, as most defenses do. But again, especially this Cardinals defense, as Will Johnson looks checked out. Offensively, they didn't really get anything going the entire game. They had a good first drive, as they do every week. But as you know with the Cardinals, they kind of threaten you, then they do absolutely nothing. So Cardinals are now 3-10. They're tied for the second worst record in football. They've lost 10 out of their last 11 games. This team is completely out of it and will be relieving their head coach of his duties very, very soon. What I mean by that is probably in a month. 26, I have the Commanders. They put up the worst performance this week by any team against the Vikings. They got shut out. It was a really bad loss. They're now 3-10, and they will be heading against the Giants, trying to snap an 8-game losing streak, which they actually probably will do. Mariota obviously isn't the answer at quarterback either. 25, I have the Falcons. This team is not fun to watch. They didn't score a touchdown this past game against Seattle, which isn't really that bad, I guess. They still scored 9 points. We're tied with them 6-6 at the half. The defense, despite having one of their better seasons in the past decade, has not really been able to elevate an offense that has just been riddled with injury, and there's a team that makes too many mistakes at the wrong time. And that's why you go to 4-9, and hopefully they get a top 5 pick. This week, though, that'll definitely be a little bit of a challenge, as they will be playing a pretty winnable game against the Bucks on Thursday night. Tomorrow night, we'll get you guys predictions and bowl predictions, except playoff and except playoff tomorrow. I'll get you guys my bowl predictions. Playoff predictions will be college football playoff will be next week for the best Thursday night game we've had probably ever. I'll be honest with you guys next week. We'll talk about that when we need to. But again, really fitting for the college football playoff there. Commanders, though, I already talked about them. There we go. All right, 24. Give me the Saints. They didn't play good against the Bucks. I know how crazy that sounds. Their defense wasn't. No, I'm joking. They played their best game of the season as they upset the Bucks on the road, 24-20, with their second win versus an NFC South team that has a winning record this season. Again, we look at the Carolina Panthers, who have again currently a 30% chance to make the playoffs, which is ridiculous. But hey, again, crazy that this team's where they are at 7-6. And again, the Bucks also 7-6. They won beat both those teams in their stadiums. As this past week, led by 2 Tyler Shuck rushing touchdowns from like 20 or more yards out, they were able to knock them off. Their defense had probably one of their best games of the season as they shut down that Bucks offense. Got that W, another upset for them. Just keep playing good football, guys. Hopefully don't win, but again, I guess do your thing. 23 have the Vikings. They played their most complete performance of the season as J.J. McCarthy, again, had the best Vikings quarterback performance since probably week 17 of last year. Yeah, Sam Darnold, guys, those last 2 games were brutal for him in Minnesota. But other than that, this defense, I think, is one of the best in football that, again, no one talks about. Definitely something to watch next year. I don't know, kind of wasting that kind of season from them because a guy like Harrison Smith hasn't played like this in like 5 years. Even that might be a little bit overrating him. But still, he's had a great year. And obviously, there's a lot of other things to talk about with this team, but they're not technically eliminated yet. Under 1% chance technically with them. But yeah, if you're a Vikings fan, definitely been a tough year for y'all. But at least this week you can beat somebody who I'm not thinking of at the moment. Oh, the Cowboys. That would be a big upset. Also for the Saints, they're playing the Panthers at home. That's what I'll say about that. 22 got the Ravens. They played awful against the Steelers. That was a pathetic performance. I thought Lamar didn't play well at all. I think that Zay Flowers was the only one really giving a crap on offense. Defensively, they got torched. That was just not a good game at all by the Steelers against the Steelers. They should have won that game by multiple scores. But guess what didn't happen? A win. So, yeah, you guys are kind of in a tough spot here. Realistically, you guys still probably can win the division. But if you guys lose to the Bengals, I mean, that's kind of wraps, right? Something like that. Now we are on to the Colts. What do I talk about with the Colts? Philip Rivers is their starting quarterback now. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. I mean, the fact that this team was 7-1 and they had the MVP favorite, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, and Daniel Jones, and even Jonathan Taylor, too, is just insane. This team's lost 4 of their last 5 games. They are not looking great in terms of the playoff picture at 8-5. I mean, you got the Ravens, who are 2 games worse than them, having a better chance to make the playoffs here. Again, they just lost to the Jags 36-19 for like the 10th year in Duval. This is a Colts team that I'm not mistaken, still have to play the Texans twice. No, they still have to play the Texans again. They already lost to them. And they already lost to the Jags, too. So if you're a Colts fan, it is not looking too hot in that again, window there. But again, if you're a Colts fan, you're like, honestly, at this point, who really cares? Sauce Gardner hasn't really panned out in terms of that trade, at least for the moment. We'll see what they can do, though. Obviously, the last time we saw Philip Rivers throw a pass was that Hail Mary back in the first year of the, 17 postseason, which is just insane. It was that long ago. 20, I have the Dolphins. What do we want to talk about with them? They're a team that is playing meaningful football in December, and that's really about it, because let's be honest, this team's not very good. 19, Bengals. The Bengals are not going to win the division because, if I'm not mistaken, they have a losing record, and the Steelers aren't going to have a losing record, so the Bengals can't win the division, which means they can't make the playoffs, which means their defense sucks. I don't know. This past week, again, their defense did get torched, but I don't think it was, again, completely on them. Joe Burrow shot put interception, and then again for a pick 6, and then the other interception kind of didn't help things there. But when you score 34 points, you should win any week. So the fact they lost that was pretty bad, as they have. It's been a theme for them the past few years. The Steelers are number 18. This is just like the worst team that again, is probably going to win a division. They're just not good in any facet of the game. Defensively, they're very undisciplined. They have too many guys they're relying on to make big plays that just aren't making it on the consistent basis they're supposed to be. On top of that, offensively, they can't run the ball. DK is the only guy worth a damn on that offense. And then Aaron Rodgers, if he's not getting protected, will crumble and die because he's 50. But they're 7-6. They'll probably get a over 500 record. They'll probably get destroyed by the Bills in the first round of the playoffs. But we'll wait. We'll wait for that when we get there. Number 17, I have the Chiefs. I want to put them lower because they don't deserve to be this high. They're 6-7, but I mean, I cannot tell you a time in the past, any time I've covered the NFL, that the Chiefs have been this low in the power rankings. But that's where they sit because they suck. Or they don't suck, but they're not doing too hot. 16, I have the Cowboys. What do I want to talk about them? Their defense is terrible. CeeDee Lamb got concussed. Dak Prescott padded his stats. They didn't show up on that Thursday night game. Again, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs because of that. They're 6-1 though. Again, they gotta beat the Vikings this week if they want any shot at making the playoffs. We all know that. 15, I have the Chargers. What's happened with the Chargers? I just covered their Monday Nighter last night against the Eagles. That was a very interesting game for them. But again, this defense I think is very opportunistic. Again, as we saw last week, or last game, that's definitely a very casual take to say the least. But I'm okay with that. This week they will be playing the. Who are they playing? It's just not coming to my head right now. They're playing the freaking. Who are they playing? Oh, the Chiefs in Arrowhead to drop, maybe eliminate. No, they shoot. Technically, they can eliminate them from the playoffs. That would be crazy. But yeah, they could definitely do that. They already beat them once, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, Justin Herbert isn't really giving us any hope there because he might be dead by the end of the season with how many times he's taken hits. 14 out of the Panthers. People are like, why the hell are they this high? This is because they could beat anyone in the league. I think we saw that again before their bye week. You might be that again. Honestly, I don't even know why they're this high. That's got to be a mistake, right? No, it's not. Thing about the Panthers is offensively, I think that there are going to be games where they just absolutely suck. Like, honestly, in the playoffs, guys, if they have to go on the road, they're going to get absolutely destroyed. But again, honestly, guys, there's one team I'm guaranteeing you is going to win a home game if they win their division. It's going to be the Panthers. They're going to be in the divisional round. Again, I understand they have potential to freaking lose to the Saints at home by double digits. I understand that, but they went into Lambeau and won. They just beat the Rams, who are the best team in football. Like, this is a very bizarre team, and I'm just going to stick with that. But obviously, they have potential to lose games that are very bad. Bucs are at 13 because I think they're definitely a little more consistent than the Panthers. Realistically, they're not a better team, though, if we're going to see, considering how they've been playing over the past 2 months. But again, if you're a Bucs fan at this point, you got to see this offense step up, and the defense, I don't know, not suck. That's really about it for them right now because they're not looking too hot after that loss to the Saints. This week, though, big-time game they're going to have to bounce back in against the Falcons. Panthers, though, are going to be playing the Saints on the road. That's a game, again, that they could definitely lose. So I honestly might pick them to lose that. Anyway, at 12, we have the Jags. They're leading the AFC South. I don't think they're as complete as the Texans are overall because they just don't have that one calling card. But honestly, guys, they're just winning games right now. I think with a win, they are very, very close to clinching a playoff spot. This is a team that has been surging over the past couple weeks despite me not really being too convinced in them. Heck of a season so far for them. 11, I have the Texans. They have the best defense in football. That will travel anywhere. I think if they do get a home playoff game, this will be a team that, again, like I said, with with the Panthers, they will be in the divisional round this season. The thing about them is I don't know if this offense will be good enough to get them anything farther than there. And even then, their offense is bad enough in the first round. Who really knows? So this year, they don't have to worry about the Chiefs and them getting destroyed in the divisional round. We'll see about that, though. Number 10, I have the Niners. This team will be playing the Titans this week, and they have another easy game, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to, at the very least, win 11 games because I think they have the Colts too. Yeah. If you're a Niners fan, you're looking pretty. This team, honestly, I don't think is like a legit team, but they're going to have a pretty record by the end of the season because of their schedule. And they have had some good games this season. I'm not going to act like that, but this is just not a team I look at as like. They're obviously, again, against the Rams and Seahawks, they're going to be, again, competitive because they're, again, division opponents. But if they had to go to, like, Lambeau or something, I don't think that's going to end well. Number 9, I have the Eagles. The thing about the Eagles for me is they're just not a team that everyone hates them. I don't think they're as bad as they have been playing because this defense, honestly, when they're on, is a very good group. You saw it. They probably should have lost by double digits because of how bad they played. But offensively, again, in that aspect. But you're not going to turn over the ball 5 times every game. This is a team, like I already talked about, just needs to beat the Raiders, and you have a very good shot to make the playoffs. Again, that's not even that hard in the first place. They're chilling. I understand that they're losing games right now, but hold off on that. 8, I got the Bears. They showed up at Lambeau and lost. It wasn't the worst loss by any means. They showed up, but how much does that really matter? You got to finish that game. Run the ball a little bit more too. But again, the Bears went from the 1 seed to the 7 seed in 1 week. Kind of tells you where the NFC is at right now. That's absolutely ludicrous. But hopefully they show up here against the Browns and actually pull off a win. They're going to. That was almost terrible broken English. Lions are at 7. They had their best game of the season, in my opinion, against the Cowboys defensively. Despite a lot of blown coverage, they had a very dynamic game. Offensively, again, they ran the ball down the Cowboys' throats. Jared Goff was very accurate, very encouraging win as they will be going into LA to take on the Rams in a game that, again, at least for the over and under for DraftKings, is at 55.5, which is absolutely insane. That, again, predicts both teams to score. It's got to be like a 28-25 game. or even more than that. That's a lot of freaking points, guys. Like, again, I love the Rams and Lions, but like with how the Rams defense is playing this year, and if they're able to get pressure on Jared Goff, I do not see this game going to that over-under, or going the over with that. But who really knows? Because both these teams score a crap ton of points. 6, I got the Bills. They obviously threw up 39 against the Bengals. 21 unanswered or 3 unanswered touchdowns were the ones to get them there. Who knows if this team will get a home playoff game? They won't get one. But this week against the Patriots will give us an idea of how good this team really can be. At number 5, I had, again, same thing with, again, very big litmus test for both those teams. At 5, I have the Packers. They had probably the strongest statement this week with a very, very, very sustained offensive performance against the not the Bucks, the freaking Bears in that win. Defensively, I think there's definitely some leakages in run defense, but still a group that you can definitely rely on. If Jordan Love isn't pooping his pants, this is going to be a good offense. We know that. Christian Watson, though, will be, I think, the difference if they, again, once they get into the playoffs. This is a 9-3-1 team right now. They will be heading to Denver for this week for probably their toughest game of this season. It'll be very interesting to see how that one goes. Number 4, first team we're talking about with playoff clinching scenarios this week is Denver. I already mentioned they're going to be playing Green Bay this week. That will be a monster game. They weren't able to cover against the Raiders this past week, but Bo Nix didn't suck, and their defense played pretty well. Again, just take care of business against the Raiders sort of game there. But again, we look at their playoff clinching scenario. If they win, they are in. At 12-2, if I'm not mistaken, the ceiling for the Colts is 12-5, and I think, yeah, that would get them the win. Because I think, yeah, the Broncos don't even have the tiebreaker. What the hell? No, wait. Because the Texans, I think, yeah, right? Because the Colts and Texans play again, so the Broncos would automatically be in. So again, neither team would be able to get to 12 wins in that mindset there. All right, so Broncos win, that's in, or they tie. Again, we're not going to talk about the ties, guys. I don't know. The Packers have already tied a game this year. So again, if you really want to look at the ties, you can. Or Texans and Colts both lose, as long as they both games don't end in a tie. That's a typo. Whatever. If the Texans and Colts both lose, where are they? Texans will be playing the Cardinals, so they're not going to lose that. But I don't know, really. Again, who knows? Because they're not going to lose that game. Colts, they're gonna lose. So against Seattle. So I mean, that aspect they definitely can get in. I'll say that. Then for the Patriots, they're up next because they're not my top 2 teams. Both these teams obviously are running a 10-game winning streak coming into this week. For the Patriots, they will be hosting Buffalo. Again, both these teams putting their 10-game winning streaks on the line against a legit opponent. They're putting their winning streaks on the line against legit opponents there. But now we get. Why do I say that like that? But anyway, for the Patriots, their clinching scenario. If they win, they are in. And they also clinch the division. I forgot to mention that. This is probably the biggest thing here. Patriots will be the first team to be able to host a playoff game. And if I'm not mistaken, if the Steelers lose this week against the freaking Dolphins on Monday night, and the Patriots win, they will clinch a top 3 seed in the AFC playoff picture, which is pretty insane. And maybe if the Jags lose, I might be wrong on that. If both these teams win, they might also, Broncos and Patriots, they might also clinch a top 2 seed too. So that would give them home field throughout the through the divisional round, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not though. So that's what I have there. So again, you look at the Patriots, win and they win the division, win and they also clinch the playoff. Win and you're in for the Patriots. Win you in the NFC, AFC East, obviously you get that. Also, Texans, Colts, both lose, they get in. Again, don't worry about the tie. That's meaningless. Also, for the NFC, we'll get to this in a second. Seattle can't clinch a playoff berth because they have the Rams in Week 16. They have the Colts this week. I'd be shocked if they lose that game. Again, I'm just looking for them forward to the Rams-Seahawks game. For the Rams, though, this game against Detroit, I could very easily see them pooping their pants in. I'm not even kidding. They obviously bounced back very nicely against the Cardinals this last week, but again, these next 2 games will determine where they are in the playoffs. They have a very, very good chance to get the number 1 seed with how they're playing right now, but this defense is going to have to play their best game of the season against Detroit. I honestly think that's where things are going to be going. Rams, though, you're going to have to run the ball really freaking well, obviously, and I think that Stafford's going to have to throw 5 touchdowns and really cement himself as the MVP favorite, or as the MVP after this game. I think this is definitely the game they'll be able to do it. Obviously, Seattle Thursday night will be, again, the marquee game for that, but Rams are the best team in football right now. I think we can all say that. They are winning games in very good fashion. Just lost the Panthers, though. They show that, again, they got humbled for sure. Like, that's definitely for sure. But for the Rams, they beat Detroit. They're in the playoffs. 3rd straight season. It'd be their first season over 10 wins since they won the Super Bowl. That's all I have for you guys here. You guys can kind of see where the playoffs are going right now. We have 3 teams that can make the playoffs. 1 team, the Patriots, that can make the win their AFC East for the first time since 2019. Bills, you can see their 5 season, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Again, 5-year AFC East title run come to an end. But that's all I have for you guys here. I hope you guys enjoy your night, and I'll see y'all for the preview of the Falcons and Bucks on Thursday Night Football tomorrow. Also going to be picking every single bowl game except the playoff, which will come out next week for that Seahawks and Rams Thursday night. That's all I got for you guys here. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Stroud launching for the end zone. Jump ball. Touchdown, Smith and Jigba. Are you kidding me? Oh, and the gritty dance punctuates it. What a monster game. You could watch this sport forever. You will see many better games by a wide receiver than this one. I don't know if it's the catch.